Guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm glad you're here again today. I'm Maggie. Last week I talked to us about the mind. I laid the foundation and I made us to understand that your present state in life is a perfect reflection of the state of your mind. And today I'll be shedding more light on that and wrapping up the topic. A few days ago I read a story online about the mindset of an elephant. A man was passing by and he saw some big beautiful elephants. He admired them and then he noticed that they were tied on their legs with a tiny rope, and it was obvious that those elephants could break free from them. So he wondered why they couldn't. Then he asked around, he met the trainer, and man explained that while the elephants were much smaller, they were tied with those ropes, and at that point they could not break free from the ropes. But because they grew up in those ropes, they already had the mindset that they could not break out, they could not break free from those ropes. So they already had a mindset that has limited them in all areas. So many of us are like that. We have wrong mindset that has stopped us from attaining certain height, that has stopped us from fulfilling God's purposes in our lives. We have to ensure that our mind is equipped efficiently. And bro, Billy Akane said something. He said the mind is the battlefield, and he's right, because the devil never stops throwing arrows at our mind through what we see on social media, on the internet, what we hear around, billboards around. There are so many bugs that could infiltrate into our minds and be a barrier to us fulfilling our destinies. There are two main gateways to our minds: our eyes and our ears. We have to be careful of what we hear. We have to be careful of what we see. We have to be careful of what we allow to rest and what we meditate in our minds. Very, very necessary. Reverend Sam Adeyemi said something. He said there are so many authors outside the country that have written books that have sold to millions of people. Yes, you see some books, and on the top right you just hear you see over 1 million copies sold, over 10 million copies sold. But here in Nigeria, it's very rare for you to see stuff like that. Very rare for you to see authors who have attained those heights, because not so many people are willing to read. Not so many people are willing to equip their minds. Not so many people are willing to gain knowledge. We have to make up our minds that we are going to allow the right things into our mind. We are going to equip our mind with knowledge. We are going to equip our mind with understanding. We are going to allow God's words to cause a transformation in our minds. We have to make that conscious decision, because you will not be able to achieve something physically when you have not achieved it in your mind. I'll be wrapping up with this. The Bible says in Philippians chapter 4 verse 8, it says, finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are just, whatever things are of good report, if there be any praise, if there be any virtue, think on these things. Make up your mind. Ensure that you read, you listen to messages, expose your mind to truths of God's word, and then I'll see you at the top. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Love you so much. See you next week.